Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new video over on the SoRare Road to Glory. So, in today's episode, what we're going to do is walk you guys through a few of the gambles I went for before this game week. And yeah, basically anticipated some players playing well and the prices rising. As always, if you guys are interested in signing up to SoRare, there is a referral link down below. Once signing up and winning 5 cards on the bidding market, you will get yourself a free limited card. Don't overpay to get this free limited card because the card's only ever worth about £2 to £7. On top of that, you do have to be 18 to play SoRare because it is real life money and that money is there to be lost as well as it is there to be made. Finally, if you guys are interested in watching this live, I do stream investments and trading in the evening over on my Twitch. So first off, what are the investments for? Now the investments are for my new favourite tournament they've dropped because it's so good to invest. And that is basically a mix of both of these. It is the Underdog Limited League, which is where you need to use a team full of players who have a L15 under 40. And you've got the Specialist Limited League. And this, you need 2 players with a L15 under 40. Which means in total there is, arguably, a demand of 6 players with an L15 under 40 for anyone who wants to play the cheap tournaments. So as a result, there is a very high demand for players who have a low L40 but a high L5. This basically means they've been trash for the last 2 months, but for the last 3 weeks they're doing really well. This normally comes off the back of a player being injured, a player coming into rotation into the squad, or just being off form but now in form. So what we've done is we've gone and found a few players who... So I guess first of all what I do is I'll show you that the players for this tournament absolutely bang. Like they rise a lot in price. And if I can go and show you someone who rose a lot in price last week, you can go for someone like here, Cankels, who went from a measly £16 all the way up here to £38. And it doesn't even stop there. You got yourself Miguel Vesa. Miguel Vesa went from £5 and he peaked all the way up here to £25. So my idea is, let's go and find the next one of these then. So how did I go and find these players? Well, what I did is I went and threw in the filter. If you can see where my mouse is. We go over here to player, and then I basically put in these filters here. So you've got to have under L40 because that's... Sorry, under 40 on the L15. And then I went and moved around all of this. And then took that off, and then basically, players who have a L5 of about, I think it's anything above 48, anything above 48 and they become quite pricey. I don't think there's many things that are cheap. So, yeah, I mean, 100 quid, 13 quid, 40 quid, 200 quid, 20 quid, a tenner, £8 but he's injured. This guy, I think, is in the second Japanese league. 100 quid, 20 quid, 22 quid. He won't play on the weekend. 42 quid. Again, he's playing a mode, 33 quid. 38 quid, 11 quid, and again, he won't play to the weekend. Play on the weekend. So, another thing you actually want to go and throw here is 260. You'll actually see, it'll drop a lot of the Asian players. There you go, it dropped all of the Asian players even. So, you can see that the players here are about 20 quid. But, what you can do is you can gamble on someone becoming one of these players who has 20 quid. And that's what I've been doing. So what I did right here is I just lowered it a little bit. Because, obviously, these are the peak players. What you're looking for is not quite the peak players, but what can become the peak players. So I then looked at players who are 42 to 48. And what you'll be able to see when I do this is there's going to start being some cheap players. There you go, £3. There you go, £5. Just keep scrolling down, £4. Keep scrolling down. What else do we have here? £4. Keep scrolling down, £4. You see, it's not the £20, it's not the £15, it's a lot cheaper. So what I've done is I've gone and grabbed a bunch of these players and then worked out the maths. The maths is long, right? But what I've basically done, I've worked out the highest score they can get this weekend, and they'll still have an L15 under 40. So I've basically done all the maths right here. I basically have added up the 15 scores, then minus that away from the maximum total they could get and still be eligible for an under 15 L50. And then I've basically come up with some of these players. So one of these players, for example, is, let's go with this guy right here, Alexander Grew. Now this guy could get a maximum score of 97, which is amazing because if we go look right here, we go to my watch list and we go for Alexander, there we go. So the maximum score he could get is 90, which means if he goes and gets a very high score, what will happen is his L5 will go from L43, and if he gets a great score, what's getting replaced? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this is the score that's getting replaced. So if he could go and get a score of 50, 60, then his L5 would go up to 50, and this guy could potentially go from £4 to £10 to £15. Well, a few players who I've already picked as an investment have already played. So what I thought I'd do is I'll show you how well they went. So we get to the first player which I went and picked, and that was Baz Kupes. I went and picked up 1, 2, 3, 4 prior the game, and even picked up 4 post or mid-game. Which means I picked up 8. I picked them up for an average, well, I can show you right here what we picked them up for. We picked up the first 4 for £4, and we picked up the last 2 for £6. Now, he's actually at the moment up to 14 quid, with even having sales at, you know, £12.50, which means I went and bought him on the 4th, and already on the, so I bought him on the 2nd, and already 1 day later he's already up, you know, 3-4x. Now the reason he's done this is he has actually pulled an absolute insane score, but I've done all my research because I knew before the game that Baz could actually get a score up to 120, which isn't physically possible, and he'll still be eligible next week. So, and he went and pulled out an insane score of 79, which is obviously insane because, you know, right now his L5 is 48. Well, 48 does not look too appetizing. But I'll tell you what does look appetizing. If we go and add the 79, add it to the 96.6, we add that to the 36.8, and we go and add that to the 35.5 equals. Divide that by 4 because there's 4 scores. He goes up to a 62. And a 62, if we go back to, I don't think we have the screen earlier. If we go back to what a 62 is, that's, you know, previous weeks, that was a game like 20, 30 quid, you know, some of the best players weren't even getting 62. So, yeah, and that's as a result, you know, obviously this is a bit of a fluke result, but even up to like a 52 and a 55, which wouldn't have been hard to do. Sorry, it could have been hard to do, but it would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, the score that you're replacing was a 24, so all he had to do was get a 40, 50, and he's already up to low 50s. So I kind of was quite confident he'd do well. I actually didn't buy as many as I probably should have, but we're still in the process of hopefully picking up a few more. But the plan of action, I could go and sell right now. Again, he's, you know, comfortably selling on for about 12 to 13 quid, which is, you know, almost tripling my money. But I think I might hold through to Wednesday. Greed it. Probably he'll go down in price, and then we'll learn a vital lesson. But that is the first player who's done absolutely insane. We then get to the second player, which is Christopher Werzenig, and we picked up 10 of him for about 4 quid. Now, he wasn't arguably as good of a play because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number that's getting replaced is 49. And I mean, at the moment he's on a 47, so he does have to really be pulling in like a 55 plus score to, you know, breach that 50 L5. If we go look at what the highest score he can get up to an 83 without having his L15 going too high, so that's not too bad, but yeah, really not a player I should have bought too many. I think I did buy him, and then I was like, oh, he's actually currently playing not very well. He's getting himself a score of 33 at the moment. We are halfway through the game, so not looking too amazing. I did buy them all for 4 quid, so I should be good to almost break even one way or the other. But yeah, that is our second player. So then gets player 3, who is Sergei Petrov. Sergei Petrov, we went and picked up 10 of him for, give or take, about £2.70. Now he's gone and just finished his game, and he's got a really, really decent score. He's actually picked up a 62. So that 62 is replacing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's replacing a 33. So his previous score was 46. So let's have a little look what his current score is right now. I think it's definitely over 50. We've got the 62.1. It's important to do the old points. Added to the 53.5. Added to the 43.5. Added to the 54.4. Equals, divided by 4. And he's coming in with a 53 score. So, not looking too bad. I mean, he's not really up that much at the moment. He's actually not really had any purchases post the game. We picked him all off 270. Again, yeah, he hasn't had really any purchases. Up to 340. I think it'd be quite hard to win 10 cards at 270 right now. But that is the second card. He has literally just finished playing like 20 minutes ago, so I still think there'll be more of a rise going into the week. But that is my third investment. And again, a player, once again, lucky. And almost like I knew this would happen. We actually bought one of this guy who plays for the same team. And he had an absolute howler of a game. Absolute howler, pulling in 17. I mean, he was like on 29 when I last looked at him. So, yeah, we went and paid, there we go, £3.18 for him. I mean, £3.50 on the market. I should be able to get, you know, I'd imagine at least break even on him. But yeah, he had an absolute howler of a game. The score that was going to get replaced was the 29. So I was quite hopeful, you know, as long as he replaces that, even with a 40, you know, he's coming out about a 50 for 3 quid, which is decent. But yeah, he's had a bit of a howler of a game, so he'll just be sold on a break even. But just showing you some investments work, some don't. That's why you got to diversify your investment. Gianluca Itta, I actually bought, I think, all of his cards at the end of his game. So not quite when the game ended, but near the end. then bought one prior for £7.50. So if we go have a little look how he did pretty well. Went and pulled in a score of 46. That 46 replaced a score of 15, which meant previously his score would have been, I think, probably about 47. Pushed it up to 52, so yeah, not too bad on him. In terms of price, what's it been like post-game? I'll be honest, there haven't actually been that many brought post-game. In fact, there's even one of the market right now for 10, so I might actually go and try and snap that up. But yeah, £12 there. 52 is not bad. I say, I mean, I bought them for £9, and pre-game he was going for £8.50, and he literally has a more favourable score now, so there you go, a few Gianluca Itters, who again I hope will rise going into Wednesday. Who just hasn't really done too much. Went and picked up a bunch of him for £3. I mean, I've only actually got, what, 7 of him? I think I bought 7 in for about £3, and then I picked a bunch up for £4 in all fairness. I actually bought a few mid-game because he was having a really good start of the game, and then I believe he did get subbed off, sadly. But he did get himself a 47. The 47 score would have replaced the 29, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's only coming up here with a score of 45, so I think I'm just going to have to try and sell him for break-even, if not just a small loss, because, yeah, I'd say he was having a really good game, so I bought a few mid-game, and then, you know, he did get subbed off, but it's not the end of the world, because it'd only be a quid, and you see that the gains in some of the others are looking decent. So, other than this, I think we've got a few more games coming today that will affect some of my investments. So these are later kickoffs. We've got an Eredivisie game, I've got a player playing for Camberg, and a Sochi game, so I'm playing for Sochi. So these are my last investments. I bought a few players post the them having good game weeks. Again, I'll cover that in a later video. But that has been how my gambles have been going into it. Really, really good. I've lucked out with one of them getting a 79, but and obviously the other one getting a 62. So pretty decent. Obviously, again, shows you win some, you lose some. Diversity is always the best when it comes to investing. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow, where we'll cover some of the investments I'm making off the back of them having a good game.